on. It's only been a few days, but have you had time to reflect on the big success of Tiger Row?
It's been unbelievable, Robert. 2 days. I was supposed to go to Summerhill on Sunday. That's when really kicked in. You see all your family and friends, and Summerhill's obviously my local village. So that was great, and you get back and see all the lads in the yard. Yeah, it's kicked in. That was great, unbelievable.
How did it differ from your experience 11 years ago when you won your first national?
I'd say the first time I won it, to be honest, I didn't appreciate it. I thought it was very easy. Hadn't many winners trained. When you see how hard it is to even get a horseback to run in the English national, with injuries and setbacks, to win it a second time was unbelievable. I wasn't sure it had ever happened, but it was unbelievable.
Were you surprised by the reaction?
So listen, you kind of get a bit excited, and emotional, and you're looking around like a bit of an Egypt. But no, it was great. I got a bit excited because I thought we were kind of home and hosed, and then the last 50 yards it was like we hit a brick wall. Thankfully, the line came in time. So it probably when the result was called out, even though looking at the race, I thought we'd held on, but you're still never sure till the result is called out, especially when it's a different race course and you're not sure of the angle. It was great.
Gordon, what were your earliest memories of horse racing?
I suppose going point to pointing with a few uncles of mine who were big into point to pointing at the time. I didn't really know what a horse was until I was probably 10 or 12 maybe. I'd have to say probably going point to point with them. Or I remember we made a money won the Grand National for John Fowler. Them days used to be like fun fairs in Summerhill and everything. And then there's at Easter, and there was a great buzz around the village at the time. I just remember we made the money winning. I didn't know anything about horses, but that was probably one of my earliest memories, to be honest.
It wasn't in the blood?
No, not at all. My father's a panel beater, my mother's a housewife, and so it was a bit of an accident or a mistake, I'm not quite sure.
How did it evolve?
It was a stable down the back of my house. I suppose when I started it originally, Martin Lynch and Suzanne Finn used to have it, and probably the first time I ever touched a horse, I held the horses and went down there, and it kind of went from there in a bit of a stepping stone. Then I started going into Tony Martin's probably when I was, I'm not quite sure, maybe 12, 13 at weekends. My uncle used to have a point-to-pointer with Tony, and it kind of went from there. I used to ride out there, and the rest just snowballed. I started riding as a bad amateur, rode a few winners, and it was great.
Yeah, you're not being fair on yourself. You were very good. Tell me, was there ever a time when a job outside of racing was a possibility?
No, to be honest, I never knew anything different. I left school when I was 15 and I went working for Tony, and I don't think I was ever going to do anything else,
Talk us through your career in the saddle.
I used to enjoy riding point to points. I rode 30 or 40 bumper winners maybe, but I was more into the point to points. I loved hustle and bustle at the point to points, great bunch of lads at the time when I was riding, I really enjoyed the point to points. Rode a good few winners from Martin Pipe and went over to him and like that, but I suppose it gets to a stage of your career that you're not going to be good enough to go to the next stage, I had to start thinking about something else.
Do you think that your experience in the saddle helped in the development of your training?
I'd say I got around a good few different yards and got to see different things, but I'd say where it helped me most was dealing with owners and speaking to owners. It was something I always enjoyed doing, getting on with people and talking to them. I'd say from that perspective, I met a lot of good people when I was riding, and it was a great leg up when I started training.
Was it always in your mind that you would become a trainer?
After I was riding for a few years, I knew I was too heavy probably and wasn't good enough to be professional. And like if you're not in the top 4 or 5, it's hard to make a living. So I thought to go the other road was the best thing to do. I didn't think it was going to end up like this. I thought I might be training a few point or two with a break, and then thankfully.
How did you start in training?
I started actually just breaking a few horses and pre-training and selling a few pointers, and then one horse led to 2, and then 2 led to 3, and 4 maybe led to Silver Birch, and as I say, the rest is history.
You targeted lower grade races in the UK.
Yeah, I remember my first ever runner as a trainer in my own name. I ran a horse called Bandon Mountain in Cheltenham one day, and I didn't finish January already, to be honest. I remember meeting Martin Pipe there that day, and he says to me, "You have a runner, yeah, and have you a chance?" And I says, "Probably not." He says, "What are you doing here?" I He says, you're a runner, and he says, you'll always keep yourself in the best company and your horses in the worst. And it was something I took on board. So from there, I decided, our stable started getting a bit bigger, but I didn't have horses good enough to compete in Ireland. They might be good enough to finish 5th or 6th, and for me, that wasn't good enough. So I started targeting Scotland, the north of England, and I ended up getting great results there and getting more horses to train, and eventually I ended up getting a few horses good enough to be able to compete at home.
I mean, remarkably, when Silver Birch won the Grand National, you hadn't trained a winner in Ireland.
No, I trained my first winner on the track in Ireland, I think, a week later in Kilbeggan. Funnily enough, it was owned by my father and my uncle, so that was great. I had 4 winners trained in England, so it was a great story.
Tell us how your association with Gigginstown developed.
I suppose probably the year maybe I won the Grand National. I remember being in Doncaster sales one day with Norman Williamson. We were having a drink in the bar, and Eddie O'Leary came in, and Norman said, you should give this man a horse to train. And sure, Eddie being Eddie, he says, sure, look, we'll see how he gets on over the next X amount of time. And thankfully, I started training a few winners, and I got 1 horse off Gigginstown, and as I say, 1 went to 2, and 2 went to 3, and the rest then just snowballed. But
I'm going to come to that, because 18 months ago there was the big fallout, Willie's fallout, and you were the prime person to gain from it. It was almost a game changer, although you obviously made it by then, but it was big.
Yeah, it was a massive boost to the yard. Obviously getting the mare like Apple's Jade. She was probably the standout horse we got. We thought at the time, blow by blow, and a few of them were really, really excited about it. But I think we got 20 horses at the time. There was 5 or 6 good horses come out of it. I suppose what the big change for me was that I ended up probably nearly getting first shout on the Gigginstown horses, where I was always second to Willie. So it wasn't the 20 horses I got off Willie that changed my life. It's going forward, horses that were buying from me. So I think that was the game changer for me, to be honest. Not the 20 I got. It's the horses supplying me now, to be honest.
Who's been the biggest influence in your career?
I definitely say Martin Pipe. For me, he's my hero in racing. What he done for the game, he changed things. An amazing man, what he could do. With a good horse or a bad horse. And I suppose since I started training, you have to say, like Willie Mullins was my biggest rival, and like what he's done, he sets the standard, and we all have to chase him, don't we?
You were with Martin Pipe for how many years, and what did you learn from him?
I was with him for a couple of seasons, but I'd still go over and back a good bit, and you could speak to him about something if you want to talk about something. I'm still very good friends with Davis' son. I suppose what he did, like he never left any stone unturned. His attention to detail was second to none. And I suppose everyone wants to have the big, beautiful horse and try to win with, the big 3-mile chaser. But when you saw what he was winning with, that was massive for me. Like, it didn't matter what the horse looked like. I just wanted winners, and any horse, big or small, that's what he used to do.
His training methods, did he introduce interval training, or he did things differently, did he?
Yeah, he did. Like, I suppose, when people talk about Martin Pipe, they say he used to have his horses very fit and he was very, very hard on them. But for me, working there, there's no horses treated better than treating his place. Yes, he got them very fit, but they were fed very well, sorry. The veterinary attention to detail in the yard was second to none. So for me, he's my man,
Yourself and Willie have taken training to the next level. What do you put it down to?
I'd say Willie's taken training to the next level, and the rest are trying to chase him. Notice Willie sets the standard, and we all have to keep chasing him. I suppose it's down to having good horses, good staff, and just wanting winners. You need the horses and you need the staff. And I don't know. Someone said to me one day, "Why? How do you train so many winners?" I said, I don't know really, to be honest. It's just something I love doing. I love being out around the yard. I love picking the races. I've got a brilliant team around me, like from my head man to the girls in the office to Ryan that helps me doing the race plan. And it's a big team I have, and I think I've never been in Willie's yard, but I'm sure he's the same. Like, you have to have good people around you, and you need good owners, and you need horses as well.
The horses, they've got to be happy horses. They've got to be well horses. Now, the horse that was third in the national was a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
You'd run him at Cheltenham. You'd run him in the Irish National in between.
Yeah.
And yet he can produce a performance at the age of 13 to finish third in the Grand National.
Yeah, I think the way we train our horses, we can take them back out again quick enough and to take racing, you know. But in fairness to Brian Hughes, rode the horse in the Irish National. I said to him, if we were worried about the ground, he'd been second in the last two runs in the Irish National, so the owners were keen to take a chance. I said, if it's not happening, don't knock him around, and thankfully he didn't. But I suppose the older he's getting, he seems to come more alive when he sees a cross-country fencer, and when he sees the national fences, like, he just loved it. He's up there the whole way, and you know, to think he pulled up in the Irish National a week before was just unbelievable.
Talk us through the daily routine. Is there much variation?
Look, the horses do different things every different day, but we do try to keep it simple enough and not complicated. Don't gallop them that much, but get them very fit.
Talk us through the importance of your relationship with the jockey.
I think the jockey is very, very important. You know, I always tended to do this in the start training, must try and use the best available. Because, you know, when you go out there, you shouldn't have to be tying a jockey down too much with instructions. If they know your horses and they know the way you train, they know they're fit, they know the jump, you know, them good lads know what to do. You don't have to tell them what to do 9 times out of 10. You know, as someone very wise said to me one day, there's no point in telling a good jockey what to do because he knows what to do, and there's no point in telling a bad jockey what to do because he won't do it. So I tend to kind of leave them to it. You tell them X, Y, or Z.
Lovely for a jockey.
Yeah, you tell them X, Y, or Z, but I think if you tie them down for too much, it gets very complicated.
What about relationships with owners? How important is it?
It's very important. You know, I think something probably most trainers need to improve in, because you get so wrapped up in training your horses and doing X, Y, and Z. It's something I try to be as good as I can at, but I could be better. But it's something I think I could be better. If there's one thing I could be better, I would maybe being in touch with owners more. But I get wrapped up in training the horses a lot, you know.
I mean, in effect, you're the CEO of a multi-company. What's the hardest part of it?
I'd say the hardest part of training horses for me, like, training horses isn't a job. I love it. The hardest part for me is injuries. Horses getting injured. It's heartbreaking. You know, you think you've got a good horse, you do everything right. You know, you maintain your gallop second to none. You leave no stone unturned, and still get injuries doing the easiest thing. For me, that's the one disheartening thing about training horses. You know, as I'm sure it is for owners as well. But
you've got to make that telephone call.
You do, but you know, the quicker you make it and get out of your system, the better. Because 9 out of 10 owners are in the game, understand it, but it is heartbreaking.
It's all consuming. How do you relax?
To be honest, I kind of, horse is my life. Like, if I'm not racing, I'm watching the racing. You know, I've got a good bunch of friends. I like to go and meet them and chill out or whatever. But for me, like, horses is my life. You know, if you're in horses 24/7, that's what you're in. I don't play golf. I think if you're playing golf and training horses, it wastes too much time. You know, for me, I don't need to relax. I love my job.
What improvements or changes would you like to see the Irish racing authorities make?
I suppose the improvement, you know, owners need to be looked after a lot better. You know, I think a lot of HRI tracks at the moment are doing a wonderful job. They've got Eddie Moore in there now doing the owners and trainers lounge, and a lot of them, I think, second to none what he's doing. He knows everyone. I suppose the other thing I have to say is, I suppose the stable staff don't get looked after as well as they should. You know, when you go to a race course, and I'm not naming any race courses, and you see them getting charged 10 or 12 quid for a dinner, it's barbaric. You know, at this day and age, they should be getting for free. There's enough money in the game and enough rich people in it that should be sponsoring the lunches for the stable staff every day of the week.
Irish trained horses are now winning more races at the Cheltenham Festival than their British counterparts. What do you put it down to?
I'd say, to be honest, Irish racing is just so good at the moment. We're in such a good position. I remember when I was growing up, not even before I started training, you know, all the good horses were in England. There wasn't many good horses in Ireland, but it's a complete circle now. We're in a brilliant position. We've got brilliant owners. We've got the best trainers in the world, breeders, stud farms. We're in a great position.
Can it last?
I don't see why not.
What do you rate as your best training feat this season?
Sure, I'm probably going to be a bit boring. I'd have to say getting Tiger Roll to win and Cheltenham and winning international. You know, it's probably given me the biggest kick I've had this year training anyway, so I'm definitely going to have to be boring and say that.
What do you think it is about Tiger Roll? I mean, he's what, 15.2, 15.3?
Yeah.
He's minute.
He's a character of a horse. Like, you know, he from going to win the Triumph World to a 4-mile chase to a cross-country race to an English national. But like, people don't realise how special this horse is.
Yeah.
Like, he's given Lisa O'Neill her first Cheltenham winner. He's given Keith Dunhill his first Cheltenham winner. He's given Davy Russell his first Grand National winner. Like, he's something else for the size of him. A lot of people were reading about him jumping around the other day, and he just measured it perfect. He's a great little bit of stuff. Was
he out on his feet? Did he come home tired? I mean, he hung on.
He's exhausted, Robert. He's very, very tired after the race. You know, the last 50 yards, he travelled everywhere like a dream and jumped like a dream. And I'd say just the last 50, 100 yards, he just ran out of petrol completely. He was into the red. He's very tired since the race, but he's going to have a nice, long, hot summer, and hopefully we'll have him back for the cross-country race in Cheltenham next year.
What'll be his routine now, just over the next few months? I mean, he's winding down. He's at home here.
He's winding down now. He'll go back to Gigginstown when the weather picks up a little bit. He'll have a nice holiday there, and I suppose he'll come back to me sort of after Galway time, and I'll be training him back for the cross-country race in Grand National again.
Gordon, what's your advice to aspiring young trainers?
I suppose, look at it, I've been boring. Everyone says you have to work hard, and I suppose be honest to owners and do your best. But the one thing is you just have to work hard and keep your head down. And I suppose don't be afraid to travel to get a winner. The one thing, you know, I see a lot of people want to go to the bigger tracks to have a runner instead of going to the small ones to win. And you know, I would probably like that on the starter as well. But I got a bit of advice the first day.
Which of Willie's horses would you like to have in your stable next season?
All of them. And obviously Willie's got an amazing bunch of horses. I suppose Ballerina, you'd love to have her. She's the first in the Queen to my head. She looks very special this year. Yeah. I'd like to have them all, yeah.
How healthy is rivalry in racing?
I think Irish racing is great. You know, because we see each other every day we go racing. It's not like, I suppose, England has so many different tracks and people go different places. You know, I probably see William once 2 or 3 days a week during the winter. You know, and
is it High Willie and High Gordon, or is there more?
No, listen, we could talk away. If we're in the right company, the right place, we could have a drink together. Like for me, Willie's a gentleman. He sets the standard. You know, you probably look up to a man like Willie. You know, he what he's done for racing, where he brought the game is amazing. And you know, to be in the same sentence and chasing them is great. You know,
you came so close to winning your first championship last season. How much did it hurt?
It was heartbreaking, to be honest, because I got myself so wound up about it last year. You know, I know you say you don't like on him. I was asked, like, she kept saying I've no chance, but like, to be honest, like for the last couple of months of last season, there wasn't a minute went by today I didn't think about it. Where this year I'm a lot more relaxed. You know, I've had the best season of my life so far. Of course, I'd be heartbroken and disappointed if I don't win it again, but it won't be as hard this year if I don't do it as last year. Last year, like, I just wanted to go and bang the head off the ground, but you have to go in and smile and be the bigger man, like, you know. But listen, it didn't happen last year, and if it doesn't happen this year, hopefully it happens some year.
You've won 8 Cheltenham Festival winners, 8 Cheltenham Festival races this year, 2 Grand Nationals, Aintree and Fairyhouse. Yeah. Would winning the championship top it all?
Yeah, definitely. If I won, like, since I started training, you know, I've said it publicly for the last 5 or 6 years, only one thing I want to be a champion trainer. If you asked me last Saturday morning, could I win the English National or be champion trainer, I'd say champion trainer.
It's been a huge pleasure talking to you, Gordon, and best of luck.
Cheers, Robert. Thanks.